The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tiger Technician Hour with your host, Basil Chapman. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Now, Basil Chapman.
Good morning, everyone. Basil Chapman. This is the Tiger Technicians Hour on Tuesday the 12th. This is the day that I'm going to be doing my webinar, what to look for trend changes and what keeps you in a trend, what's really important, and sector rotation, stock selection, trading around core positions, using money management to maintain your capital. I mean, for instance, we lost two positions yesterday. Both of them had made money. One was just decimated, but we had such a good gain that when it dropped because of earnings disappointment, we still continue to make money. So that's just really important. Let me just go to the market right now because the Dow is holding very nicely. It's up 390 at 44,368. This is part of that inflation or deflation news that we came across earlier this morning. Just a kind of a surprise for all those people talking about the fact that we are looking at, let me just find this right here. It's right there. There it is. So breaking inflation data released, year-over-year growth CPI 2.7 versus 2.8, and then I think the previous month was 2.9, then 3. So there's just a very slight decrease, but you know we heard about tariffs, etc., and that it's going to just decimate the economy. Remember, I mentioned one economist I'm friendly with said it's worse than Russia. I mean, I don't know how far he wants to go back, but it's worse than Russia. But in the meantime, we're looking at a very strong market. Now, I just need to go through a couple of things to show you. So look, the Dow was arching over, and now this very strong move says that if it takes out the high that was made at 40, we have been short for a little while now, still short and still actually in the money. It's still doing quite well. But look, if we start to take out the high that was made on the 7th of August at 44,498.43, you go to 0.44, that starts a leg C. That's a different thing. At that point, there's a chance that the pink 9-period moving average can change to green. So I'm going to be showing you the different techniques that I use. But most important, every single day, I've mentioned to subscribers, we don't have this one ingredient that foretells a market that will find more and more and more selling as that theme gets promulgated. We just don't have that. And as long as you don't have that, the buoyancy of markets is that they tend to move up until you get this one ingredient, and we have not got that ingredient yet. So let me just show you the S&P trading up 29 at 6402. 6427.02 was the high. Now, there's a pattern in the rectangle formation that I talk about all the time, and it says, be careful in this particular pattern. If you just go straight up, like in a leg A after a very sharp move down, be careful, because if you start to bump into resistance, and at any time following that reversal to the downside, if there isn't a sharp break to a new high, be careful, because if you come back to halfway in the rectangle at any point, and that would be below 63.30 in the S&P, be careful, because that could start a more severe downturn. So these are the technical tools that I'll be showing. It's a peak C. What are we going to get a D in the S&P weekly chart above 6427.02, because D is where other things can happen. But as yet, we still don't have this dark news cloud cover that I keep talking about, which is absolutely necessary for a market to sustain a down move. And these are the things that I'll be talking about in my webinar. I'll explain it. I'll describe it. Let me just get the cues. All-time high, 576.94, fractionally over yesterday's high. Now, this is very interesting. There's no other way I can count this. This is either a leg G, meaning that if there's a pullback, and then we go 1 penny above the peak that's maybe forming or could form at this particular point, I have to call that a brand new leg B, because this is now leg G/A in the Chapman methodology. There's no other way I can count it. From this particular low right there with an instant restart, you went peak A, B, C, D. Could have been an instant restart right there, but it went to EF at 574.63 in the QQQ, and then it plunged lower. So this couldn't be an instant restart, because then that would be a B and that would have to be a C. You can't. You've taken out the starting point. So there's no other way I can count it. So something is either going to happen negatively over the next coming days without much in the way of a second peak from where we are in the QQQ, and it's only a leg B. It's incredible, the weekly chart. So let's go to the IWM, a slightly different pattern, because that in the weekly chart has gone to a peak D, holding very nicely, up very sharply today, 223.57, up 3.31. In fact, I'm going to put this in and let it prove me wrong. I'm going to make this a little arch formation a little higher, number one. I'm going to put in gray A right here. Look, gray A right there. This is interesting. I'm pleased I did this. And today's action is unfolding before my webinar, because this is exactly what I'm talking about. As the prices are unfolding, you've got to be able to have a flexibility that says, if certain things happen, I have to follow them. And look, the 9-period, I wouldn't have expected it yesterday, but today, the 9-period moving average, the day is young. We're not even an hour into the session, and the 9-period moving average has just flipped green. I excuse that. I can say, okay, that's very important. That's a leg C. The MACD hasn't crossed positive yet. It's got a long way to go. This gray line right here, which is the relative strength, is acting quite well. It's still quite weak, but it's acting pretty well from the low that was made in the 212 area just beginning of August. And the stochastic is weak at 57, but improving a little bit. And that on-balance volume is very weak. So this is going to be, the day is young. Let's see what happens by the end of the day. But so far, this is very good action in the Russell 2000. So this fits right into the theme that I was going to be talking about tonight, which is, do we have some kind of, you're already starting to see it in the AI area, where certain stocks that are AI, and certainly if they even have it in the name, are doing extremely well, and others, which are right kind of peripheral a little bit, look, yes, BBAI, and the actual title of BBAI is, if I can type it in correctly, right there. Look at this. Big Bear, but it's not just Big Bear. It is called Big Bear AI Holding. So we were in this quite some time ago, back in June, and we got in at $5.09. It soared up to $8.72. We took a huge chunk of profits from that, and we've had little trades, and then we did nothing. Watched that earnings came out yesterday, and it just tanked. Fortunately, our stop was higher, so we made money on this, very nice money. But look at it, it plunges, and that shows you the weekly chart is kind of weak because it went to a peak D. Remember my rule of thumb, a peak D under a previous high. I prefer to go right through that previous high in leg C. This is foretelling that there could be some pullback, and there certainly was. And it's in the technology area. AI.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Strong move on, when was that? That was yesterday. It had a big move up overnight, and then into the session itself, it hit 122,955, but then closed down towards the low, but is still above the Chapman Wave inside track propellant zone, and we'll see if it's able to hold that. But so far it's doing very nicely. Now what's fascinating, we've been talking about this for a little while now, is that ETH, which is Ethereum, is trading at 41.35, up $1.21, breaking out to the upside. Look, there's a beautiful cup and ladle to leg D, and it's in leg C right now. I have a measured move, an expansion to 161, which will be to 43.34, and it's only a gray A. Yeah, well, it's a brand new leg in the monthly chart because it's an IPO. It came out only in it came out in August of 2024, a year ago, and no, it came in July. And then it took a dive and went all the way down to 13.69. Isn't that interesting? 13.69. And it was this year that it did that. So this is really outstanding action. So we're looking at 13.69, April of this year. And here it is 4 months later, and it's trading at a new all-time high for this vehicle, the Grayscale Ethereum, and doing very nicely. Very good action. The weekly chart, all the technicals are very strong, and that just means that the high that was made at peak D in December, the week of the 20th of December of last year, which was 33.17, that's now key support in the very short term. Next question, I got a question that came in. Yes, so what do you make of MJ? And that's MJ is the alternative harvest ETF cannabis sector. Yeah, it just took off. It was actually doing very nicely from the 16 cents. This is split. I don't know how many times it's split, but it's the initial price, which must be in the pennies. But right here, because it's split, it made a low on the 23rd of June at 16.50, and it went to peak A pulls back, has another little A, then it goes to a B, pulls back, goes to a C. Now it pulls back just one day, and then it goes to a leg D, and it's pulled back from the high of the day, 33.87. So I'm going to be watching this closely. There are a couple that I mentioned to subscribers this morning. They'll be just watching. CGC is one. Oops, where did it go? CGC is Canopy Growth. Let me just refresh this. All right, let's go back to MJ, and then we can come back to this. Okay, CGC, there it is. So it had a big spike. It went from the one area, $1, goes whoosh up to $1.80 today, and now it's coming back. Yeah, these are one-day wonders. I wouldn't get too carried away. It's just they haven't found their niche just yet. So we got the 1 minute chart of the E-mini in the leg C. Now the buying is starting to come in, and that's a buy mode in the 1 minute chart. The 5 minute chart has this resistance, this trend line resistance. It needs to take out 64. I'd say 64.40, and then it will tackle the high that was made at 8:45 this morning, which is 64.42. And it looks to me like the 10-minute chart with this 9-period moving average so strong in the E-mini, is it going to go all the way to a leg D to the upside? Well, the Dow is now at 448. So this is really good action. And that's the reason why I've said, let's be very cautious in looking for some kind of a top, because unless you get the theme that makes things so negative, all that I can say is that it'll be very brief, any pullback. So AG is a question. First Majestic Silver. I don't know why the steady chart is stalling a little bit. There it is. It's trading at 872, down 2 cents. So what's happened here, that peak D, that last peak D, I got that there. Okay. That last peak D at about 940, what was that? 942? $9.48 on the 14th was a peak D that saw a very sharp pullback. The previous one was E, and this is a new move to the upside. It's a gray A. Now, what I am looking at here in the gold stocks and gold and silver, this is First Majestic Silver. Let's just show you silver right now, silver itself. Oops, let me just show you the silver contract right there. Okay, SI. So silver is trading at 37.64, down 14 cents. It almost looks like that silver. Look, that also made a peak D, and it's pulled back. I think it's stalling, and that's what I'm thinking is going to happen here in the let's see, our CDE, which is a silver stock. Yeah, that made a new recovery high. That's done really well, 1175. We were in from 792. So this is a very nice gain, but it is a leg D, and I'm looking at a leg E in the weekly chart and a leg D in the monthly chart. That's core mining. I think this is a better looking chart. Let me go back to AG, and I'll just give you the parameters that I'm looking at. The 9 is over the 14. The MACD has just crossed positive. The retro strength right here has started to improve, and the stochastic is at 74%, trying to get to 80%. The on-balance volume is very weak. So I like that. The weekly chart is holding very well. So this is what I'm going to suggest. If you're in it, I'd hold it. It's at 877, 854 to 8. Let me just get you the 9-period moving here. 850, 854 to 850. So let's say 850 is key support. If there is a close, because look, just yesterday it went down. It closed with a big green candle, but look at that. It was down at 828 and it had a high of 881. I mean, that's 60 cents. That's a huge 2-3% in a day. So all I'm looking at here is that it's holding very well. It looks to me more like a sideways consolidation move. If it can close above the high of the 23rd of July, this is AG, First Majestic Silver Core, if it can close above that high, going to not just 901, but 915, anytime in the next, today's Tuesday, anytime by Friday. That's going to be very good action, because it says steady move to the upside now instead of those big, sharp, jagged moves with a big spike. That's very important. So parameters, 850 is key support to hold. It can do that in a second because it seems to do that. But if it's able to close, first of all, short term, if it's able to close above 883, It's at 877 right now. The high today is 883. If it's able to close above 888.84, that's a really good sign. That starts a leg B, and that's very important, and that'll help you get to that candle that I'm looking at of the 23rd. But so far, if you look at the weekly chart, look, if you treat that as a midpoint, it's like a V, it's like a diamond pattern with a leaning towards going higher. So I like that. And the monthly chart is improving slowly. So all of this is pertaining to holding 850 as key support, AG. Next question came in. Could I do a little bit more work on the IWM? Yep, the IWM. This is really good work on the daily chart, from yesterday meandering sideways to having the 9-period moving average crossover. You do have to wait for the MACD to cross positive to really build the momentum to the upside. But I'm looking at this and I'm saying, you know what? If we start to see a lot of selectivity in the leadership, slowly but surely, fund managers will be looking closer and closer at the small caps. I'll be back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tiger Technicians Hour is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
So AG comes out with earnings, I see, on the 14th. So if that's the case, there's nothing else that I can say. Everything that I just mentioned pertains to the 14th. So just stick with those parameters. We don't know what a stock does after. Most of the time, we don't know what it's going to do after earnings. So just stick with those parameters that I mentioned. Another question came in about. I forgot. I'm sorry. I didn't finish up my overview. So high-grade copper is actually doing very nicely today. It's gone to a leg A, B. This is a leg C. After that terrible smash to the downside, it's up 7 cents at 4.51. So I'll be watching copper stocks. I'll be talking about that tonight. Let me just make a note. Copper, I had it there, but now I'll make it a little bit more emphasized. Okay, with that said, a question came in about CLF. So this is Cleveland Cliffs. It's kind of been struggling. It made a peak D at about 12, just under 12, back around the 21st or so of the month and of last month, and now it's pulled back pretty sharply. So this is a question so the person who asked me kind of looks at the longer term, and my longer term view of the steel stocks is that they're going to find buying. And if I looked at the steel stocks, the SLX this morning, early this morning, because I thought, okay, it's just time to be going back into this area. So I'm looking at it at 69.89. It's up $1.79. I believe that this is part of this rotation that I'm talking about. So without this move to the upside today, if it was up 10 cents or 15, I'd say, nah. But this is very important. So I'm going to suggest Cleveland Cliffs, start your engine. I don't believe you have this one. Is it time to buy? And I'm going to say yes. But I would do it in a different way to normal. It's on the 200-period moving average. I believe that there will still be tariffs, etc., that really kind of become favorable to the steel stocks. How it unfolds and when it unfolds is hard to say. But the weekly chart is really very, very important. And at $10.10, I'm going to suggest that you start your position. Now, in your case, normally I would say have a stop probably below the low that was made yesterday, which is that, or the day before that. Around about 9:30, 70 cents from here. That's quite a wide stop. But I'm saying start your engines, and this one, I really do have to have a stop. But I prefer to say that it is a stop that very quickly you'll be able to raise. So at this particular point, I'm going to make 927. Oops. 927. Yep, I'm going to make 927 the stop, just because you need some time and some flexibility. But just start your engines, get your foot in the door, and then we'll talk about it in another day or two, or maybe even by Friday we'll come back to this. Because if it's actually gone from the high today of 1029, if it tags 1045, it doesn't have to close there. It just has to say, I'm trying to get that 9-period moving average to turn positive. That's it. So I'm saying yes. In your case, I'm going to say start your engines. I do believe that this is a particular position that I looked at Nucor early this morning, and look, see, this is just so. It's not bad. It's just not great. So Nucor is one of the great steel companies in the United States. Nucor Steel, all I can say at 140.82 up 3, very nice action. I would love to see it in the 142 area, and that'll say, aha, the rectangle formation says now we can possibly go to the high that was made on the 28th of July of 146, round number high. Did I miss that? I did. 146, round number high. Interesting, huh? Okay. Oh, I had my caps on. Doesn't matter. Okay. So yeah, next question came in. What's the time? So there's a chunk I still want to do. The TLT bonds down 63 at 86.76. When the bonds come down, the yields go up. And in this case, the yield's still in the lower range. Oops. Bonds are in the upper range of the weekly and monthly, but in this particular instance, the amount of weight that was given to the downside swoosh from that B- failure going to the low in August in the 3460 or so area, this is saying to me, keep monitoring it because the weekly chart is kind of weak. It suggests that the yields should be going down. Where this goes is going to be very important, but I just don't think it's as important as anything else at this particular time. So with that said, I needed to go to question came in about Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft. Nothing to see here. 555.45 is all-time high. It's doing very nicely in terms of overall picture. Leg B, peak B in the weekly chart. Huge move. It's just spectacular. We're still long a little bit from 338. It's at 526 right now. Doing okay. If it actually slides into 518, that's going to be a problem. Right now, it's doing quite nicely. What was the other question? Question came in. Oh, I did it. Flash before. Oh, FXI. FXI, just remember I said I think it's trading in a range right now, and that's exactly what it's doing, up 38 cents at 37.71, kind of trapped between 38.25 and 37, I'd say 36.80. XPEV, is that the one? Yeah, very nice move yesterday to a leg F. Today it's a peak F, going from the 2160s or 2150s down to today's low of 20.23. Look at this, the weekly chart just is digesting gains, being a spectacular move from the 17s to the 21s, 4 points, very nice, and now it's just digesting those gains. Another question came in, let me see. Oh, TGB. I was going to do that then, and then I thought, yeah, I'll skip it for the moment. Well, TGB is Taseko Mines, not going anywhere. It's not breaking down per se. It's a peak C in the weekly chart, which says at some point it should go to 369 to start a leg D, but it's taking its time. So on TGB, Taseko Mines, TGB is the symbol. It's at 315 right now, up 6 cents, $3.15. If it can get into the wick and move to 327, it can't tag. It has to hold above 3. If it can close above 327 in the next few days, that's going to be very important. That's what I would wait for. But I would also say that $3 is probably pretty darn good support for this right now. Hope that helps you. Diamonds need higher. Definitely trim some profits. The diamonds. So the DIA. Yeah, you see, this is trying to get to a leg C. It hasn't. The arch formation is still kind of there. And as I say, we are still short, the 2 times short from quite a bit higher. I'm not going to mess around with it. We've got to stop in place to say that at least we're going to make a profit. We've taken a little bit off, but I'm trying to keep it as a position right now until something changes. And if you remember, we were looking at the Dow, and that 9-period moving average hasn't yet crossed positive. I'll be back. Dow's up 366, S&P's up 34. Basil Chapman, Tiger Technicians Hour.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. an amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn. And he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Folks, we're back. So the dollar is at 98.25, down 25 ticks. It just kind of stuck in the lower range. You remember my theme has been for ages. The reason why we were in the dollar since 2018, and then we took nice profits. We said, I'm done. The theme of the last administration, the first Trump administration, was to get a lower dollar. It didn't succeed. They're certainly succeeding now, and they're not talking about it. Remember, it's the same as, what was his name again? Rubin used to always talk about a lower dollar, and the dollar kept, a higher dollar, and the dollar kept going down. So it's not a matter of what they say, it's a matter of what they do. And look at this, the dollar's gone from 110 down to the 98 area. It actually hit 96s. So yeah, this is just not the theme of this particular, the theme is a lower dollar, that's all. Now, the question came in about GE. So GE is at an all-time high. So this is one of those cases where we went 277 round number high, pulls back, goes to 277.18, negates that, and today it hit 278.49. This is really wonderful action in GE. We're still long GE from the 197 area and 198, I believe. So now what we're looking at is in leg C in the weekly chart, an all-time high, fantastic GE Aerospace. Let's look at GEV. So this is the utility. This is part of the global energy resources. It went to an E and it's kind of stalled there near the all-time high. It's been a spectacular mover. So we're going to be watching this. Is this one where if you aren't in, you can... it had earnings on the 23rd of July. Anyway, it's done very nicely. Hasn't broken down, almost an all-time high. Just watching it closely to see if it pulls back. So what I'll also be doing tonight is in stocks that have just really been incredible to the upside and still show leadership, I want to show you areas that I would consider either adding to them if you have them, like a GE, or in this case, a GEV, which we don't have. What happens if at 658 right now, it takes out the 620 areas, key support, in the next, say, 2-3 weeks? Would you want to be buying this after such a spectacular move? So that's going to be a question. I think it's a relevant question because it's been a leader, and leaders don't just go away unless the theme itself completely changes, the narrative. And the narrative hasn't really changed. So with that said, I wanted to go to GDX. GDX is trading. Remember, this is a technique I'll show you tonight and how you can use it. This has been the repellent zone, but it's also a magnet zone. This inside track, pink and green, little mini uptrend channel. See how the price went in so many times? This time it went right to the green line and it's pulled back under it. Now it's testing the pink line. This is a GDX, Market Vectors, gold miners, still holding really well. And as it stands right now, unless it takes that 56 support on a closing basis over the next, I'd say, week or so, that would be saying, okay, now you're going to have a digestive phase. But so far, it's been in the money's been coming into the gold miners, and it needs to break decisively above this trend line, which is now at 59.35. Today's high is 58.15, and the high yesterday, 3 days ago, was 58.81. So up in the, let's call it 59.60. Preferably break above 59s, and that says, okay, now you've turned that into support instead of resistance, and that's important. Next question came in. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Could I look at the, you had mentioned SHLD, which was once the Sears and Roebuck symbol. Now it's SHLD is the global X. This is the tech sector, defense sector, tech sector. Made a peak D right there at 63.72 on the 6th of August, and now it's pulling back a little bit. And I've got this as a G, but it could be an alternate count. There was an instant restart, so it could be G/C. Lovely. This is fantastic action. PPA is the airline. This is the Invesco Aerospace and Defense Fund, which of course has Boeing, and it's just be making nominal highs. So this is going to be very important, because if there is a move, it has to be quite a bit sharper. It has to be, for the PPA, you need to see a price moving to the 148.50s or higher. And in the SHLD, you need to see a move into the 64s. So there's slightly different chart formations, because one is defense and the other one includes, look, PPA. This includes the aerospace and defense sector. So there's slightly different patterns. This one's stalling a little bit, but still up near the highs. The other one has a different pattern, having come back from a peak D quite sharply. So if you're interested in this defense sector, don't forget, we've got a lot of peacemaking going on right now. So I would love to see this whole thing. I'd love to see the SHLD tank and go to under 58. I mean, that'll be a really good sign for peace. But at this particular point, it's still active, so you're going to have to monitor it closely. The other thing that I was looking at, where did it go? Yes. So if you're going to something like, look, Home Depot at a new recovery high, up at 394.92, up 7.34. That is almost a 2% gain. This is a really good sign, and that's got nothing to do with interest rates. It's nothing to do with the housing market in that sense of the buying of houses, but it has to do with repair work, and that never stops. And because the same as with AZO, which is the AutoZone auto parts, automobiles have become so expensive that it is way cheaper just to keep doing repairs. That's why this is almost at an all-time high. It was an all-time high a week ago, up in the almost 4,100. I'm doing the same thing here with Home Depot. Home Depot is repair, so the housing sector might do its own thing, but repairing is absolutely imperative, and more people, I think, are saying, I can only afford to do things myself or get someone in for certain things. So I think Home Depot is doing very nicely here, and it's had a stair-step move into this leg D. So a D, you buy something in a D, it's a little tricky to do that, but I would just say keep an eye on this. This will be one that I might have to mention tonight, in terms of where it would look. In other words, at 395, if Home Depot in the next week slides under 379, then you want to say to yourself, oops, this is not action. This is on price action. This is not good action. But if it holds here and actually starts to tag the 398, 400 area, that's going to be a very good sign. And that's what I'm talking about in this particular phase. These are the trends, and you can also use this one technique that I use all the time, and that's by saying, right here, let's go to Home Depot. So this is using just the 914. So Home Depot, green. and it's broken above the previous highs. So just on this alone, it says as long as it's green, even though it looks a little overbought, that's a very good sign that as long as the 9-period moving average is in the rising green line, that's very good. So that's another technique that I'll be discussing for some of the charts that we're looking at today. Let me just see what happened here. Oh, so there's you broke. Look, it broke above the above the trend line. It hasn't broken significantly, but it's tried to test it. This is the E-mini. Is this going to be a 2-click session? Was more than a 2-click session because it pulled back so sharply? I don't know, but it's very good action. Dow's at 461.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey. Because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Hi folks, so I wanted to show you, I was talking about Home Depot, but look, Sherwin-Williams, a very nice move up to 357.46, up 2.88. A leg B and a new buy signal. I have to wait just to the end of the day. I think this could turn out to be a buy mode going to the upper part of this rectangle, which would say that it would target, at least the first big target would be 365.57, the high that was made in May. And it could be an inverted head and shoulders. So these are patterns that you've got to be looking at in terms of what is happening now. not what's happened before, but what's happening right now that could go into the future. And look at this Bank of America, our Bank of America, which we still have and have a target of 50.11, has had a really nice move up today, up 2.7% up 124 at 47.41. Will it be able to break that resistance at 48.50 to be able to go to the 49.31 high that was made in July? I will see. About what to look for, certainly what to look for a downtrend. There's and if you don't have that, you're just not going to get a sustained down move. You're going to get a one-off, just a downslide and then a move up. What's working, what's not? Money management, trading around core positions, sector rotation. We're starting to see the chances that we're getting a sector rotation right now. So it'll be very exciting and very pertinent to where we are right now. A little bit of cash, so for subscribers to the opening call, we know that we can start to put some more money to work as soon as it's appropriate. Very exciting time to be able to do this webinar, and then what happens? You get every day. You get my newsletter. You get what to look for in the Dow for trading ranges and positions that we're taking, positions that we're modifying, we're adding to, we're subtracting. It's an exciting period. So check it out. Go to the front page of TFNN. Check out my opening call date newsletter. Stay tuned for Steve Rhodes, and I'll be back with Tommy a little later on before my webinar, 4 o'clock today, 4 to 5:30, and archived for your perusal. See you a little later.